It is final roster time, people. With the preseason now officially done, we got to get the roster down to 53, the final 53, and I'm going to be doing just that in this video. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, hit that subscribe button down below, people. I promise you, you will not regret it. The season is so close. I cannot wait. So it is going to be cut day for a lot of teams, every team really, and the Bears are no different here. So what is the Bears' final 53-man roster going to look like? I'm breaking that down for you guys right here, right now, okay? So I'm going to go through my entire 53-man roster. First and foremost, I'm going to just go through it, every position, and then at the very end, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the notable cuts and the reasons why I had them not making the roster. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so here we go. The 53-man roster, my final version, is on the screen for you guys now to look at. So we'll start at the top here with the quarterback position. I've obviously got Caleb Williams, our starter, and then Tyson Bagent, our backup quarterback. So I only have the Bears carrying two quarterbacks, not three. So Brett Rippon, you are the first cut here, and you know, I'm going to get into the details here at the very end, but essentially, you know, I feel like Bagent's done such a great job of being the backup that, like, hey, if Caleb gets hurt, God forbid, you know, Bagent should be fine. And then at that point, if we really are dealing with injuries, you know, bring Brett Rippon up from the practice squad. But for the most part, we should be good with two quarterbacks. All right, let's move on to running back. So I've got DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson, Travis Homer, and wait for it, Velus Jones Jr. Yes, I've got Velus Jones Jr. here at the running back spot, as that is what he has been playing for the majority of the preseason. They've moved him over there. Previously, wide receiver returner position. He's still going to be a returner, but now he's going to play sort of this Cordell Patterson role for the Bears at the running back spot. So I do have him making the roster. So obviously the locks were Swift, Herbert, Roschon. Nothing to talk about there. Travis Homer is a great special teams player, so that's why I have him making the roster. He's our fourth running back on the depth chart, really fifth because maybe Velus gets more carries. And with Velus, I believe this is sort of his, best fit at the running back spot. And obviously, he had a very good game in the third preseason game. He's a gadget player, folks, but he's a guy maybe at the running back spot you can get creative with, like they have been doing, and maybe he can give you a spark. Now, obviously, as a returner, that's important as well. So that's why I believe he's making the roster, not so much as a running back, more of a returner. So to me, I've got the Bears here with 5 RBs, including Velus Jones Jr. Moving on, the fullback position, Khari Blasingame. Now, I will tell you this much. As of right now, I do have Blasingame making the roster at the fullback spot, but Shane Waldron's offense doesn't really use fullback. So honestly, if he gets cut, I would not be surprised. I thought long and hard about cutting him, but I couldn't do it. He's such a great veteran to have around. So maybe Shane Waldron just keeps him around, finds a use for him in the run game, but I would not be shocked if he gets cut. So he's very iffy for me. I even have like a question mark by his name on my notes. So Khari Blasingame at the fullback spot. All right, moving on to the receiver position, we've got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, and Tyler Scott, all 4 locks. Nothing to talk about there. So then we've got Dante Pettis here as sort of the 5th wide receiver. And then to me, I feel like, yeah, maybe I could have gone with the 6th receiver, but I really didn't because, hey, Colin Johnson could have been that guy. He had the great Hall of Fame game, but wasn't able to stay healthy after that. So to me, we have amazing receivers as it is. So the depth, I mean, really, I'm not that worried about it. Sure, could I see Colin Johnson making the roster and us carrying 6? Yeah, we could, but I feel like there's other positions where we need the depth more than we do at receiver just because of how stacked our top guys are. So to me, that's who I have. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Tyler Scott, and Dante Pettis, who had a great showing in preseason. All right, moving on, tight end spot. This one was very easy. 3 locks, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and Mercedes Lewis. Mercedes Lewis, obviously, the long-standing veteran. He didn't come back to not make this team, so he's definitely going to, obviously more of a blocking tight end at this point in his career. But yeah, I have him making the roster. So here we go. Moving on to the offensive line here. I've got the Chicago Bears carrying 10 offensive linemen here. So I'll tell you this much. If the Bears decide to carry 6 receivers and add, let's say, Colin Johnson to the mix, I could see them maybe cutting down on one of these linemen, and I'll tell you who in just a second here. But as far as the starters, we've got Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates, and Darnell Wright. Now, it could be Nate Davis or Ryan Bates at that spot. That's fine. Both are locks, I think, to make the roster. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys right there. And then I've got Kieran Amegaji, our third-round pick from this past draft, making it. Matt Pryor, who's played pretty well, and then Larry Borum, okay? So that's 9 right there, and then here's the 10th, Jake Curham, okay? So I've got 10 offensive linemen because to me, this is the position where you need the most depth. You need to be able to have plenty of guys in case one of your offensive linemen goes out, and we know Nate Davis is not dependable. We know Tevin Jenkins hasn't been dependable. Braxton Jones was hurt for a majority of last season. Even Ryan Bates has been hurt this training camp and this offseason. So to me, depth at this position is key. In fact, this is the position I'm most worried about in terms of performance, in terms of durability. Can we stay healthy and can we produce and perform? So to me, the offensive line, it starts and ends there because the protection for Caleb is going to be key. So give me depth at that spot. I got 10 guys making it. That's who I have. All right, moving on now to the defense. All right, we start with the defensive line here. I've got 8 players to talk about. We've got DeMarcus Walker, Montez Sweat, Andrew Billings, and Jervon Dexter as your starters on the D-line. And then the backups, I've got Zach Pickens, Austin Booker, who's been an absolute beast, our rookie from this past draft. And then the last 2 spots, I've got it going to our new acquisition, Darrell Taylor from the Seahawks that we traded for. I don't think we traded for him to not have him not make the roster, so I think he'll make it. And then Byron Cowart. And the reason I have him making it over a guy like a Daniel Hardy, who's been playing really great in the preseason, no doubt about it, is because of positionality. It's mainly to do with the fact that our D tackle spot, we don't have a lot of depth on that. All right, behind Billings and Dexter, you don't have a lot, so we need more depth there. So it's really just a type of decision here, not so much of talent. And put Hardy on the practice squad, man. Bring him up in case we have any injuries. But yeah, so that's why I've got Byron Cowart making it on the D-line. All right, moving on to linebacker spot. I've got 5 here. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jack Sanborn, your starters. And then backups, I've got Micah Baskerville, who's had a solid preseason, made a couple of plays. And then Amen O, not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Maybe I will. Ogbon Bemaga. I probably butchered that. But yeah, I've got him making it. As the 5 linebackers, and Micah and Amen's have been playing pretty well, and I have the guy that being cut here left out is Noah Sewell, who's just hasn't been able to make plays like the other guys, so that's why I've got that. All right, let's go to the secondary now. At the cornerback spot, I've got Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, obviously a Stone Cold Locks, Terrell Smith, Jalen Jones, Josh Blackwell, and then everybody's favorite. He's been making plays all preseason, folks. Reddy Stewart, welcome to the final 53. He deserves it after his 2 interception, 1 pick 6 game in that last preseason game. All this guy has been doing is making plays, so I think he deserves it. So Reddy Stewart is the last cornerback. All right, safety, Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, and then Jonathan Owens and Elijah Hicks. Not too much to debate about there, carrying 4 safeties. And then finally, with special teams, I've got Cairo Santos, our kicker, Patrick Scales, long snapper, and Torrey Taylor, our punter. So that brings the total to 53, if my math is correct. So that is the final 53-man roster. Now, let's talk about notable cuts here, people. So I mentioned Noah Sewell. I don't have Noah Sewell making the roster just because the other linebackers, namely Micah Baskerville and Ameno, have outplayed him, and he's been hurt. Colin Johnson, I think there's an outside shot he does make it if we want to carry 6 receivers. But again, after that Hall of Fame game, just hasn't got hurt and wasn't able to just get on the field. Simba Webster, again, I just don't feel like the talent matches up enough to get on it. Daniel Hardy, I talked about why. It's basically a positionality thing for me. And so that's why I don't have him. Adrian Colbert, another cut candidate here at the safety spot. Again, put him on the practice squad, man. I wouldn't mind that. So to me, that's why I don't have him making it. And then Jacob Martin, he's also a solid defensive end, but we are good at that position. Other notable cuts here, I've got Ian Wheeler at the running back spot, man. Again, love him to be on the practice squad, and he was great in Hard Knocks. But yeah, I think we have a lot of depth there. DeAndre Carter as a returner, got him as a cut. Austin Reed, Brett Rippon I mentioned. And Bill Murray, Ja'Tyre Carter, couple others there as far as my notable cuts. So overall, folks, I feel pretty good about the final 53 that I got. Let me know what you guys think about it. Agree, disagree, leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching.